How you doing today, sir?
Good, how about you?
I'm pretty well. I'm Billy McCraw. I'm your salesman. For you, I got this nice DeLorean. 5,000. Yeah, right. 5,000 miles on it. Can take you into any movie scene you want, any piece of media, anywhere you want. You know. Now, the price of this thing is kind of nice. You're gonna pay $50 million, which is more than Amber Heard had to pay Johnny Depp in the new recent case. Ha ha. But yeah, you think you'll take it?
I mean, sure, I think I'll, let me go for a quick test drive.
Alright, let's go.
The misty mountains cold, to dungeons deep and caverns old, we must away ere break of day to find our long forgotten gold.
I will deal with this Jedi slime myself.
Your move.
You fool! I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku.
I'd sit alone and watch your life. My only friend through teenage nights. And everything I had to know, I heard on my radio. You get the low.
Hey, excuse me, pardon me if I'm wrong, but isn't this Boba Fett's show?
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's
Joe!
you probably.
Joe, come on, man. All right, you know what? Shut down, do the language.
We now return to the Transformers.
Hello there. So, as we said last time before we left off,
Show must go
show must go on. Mm-hmm. Show must go on. So, it did. I made an initial, what I would call a demo version of this project. But what I have now, I would say, is definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
I added an additional scene, made one of the other ones better, and then fixed the rest of them, and added some other. Or no, actually, no. I added another one. I made everything better.
Yeah.
I made everything better.
Definitely.
So, starting from the top, the scene I shot with Mike. Initially, the scene I had before, the biggest problem that I noticed was it was really low grain and low res and grainy. I recorded that with my 6 before I got a new phone, and you could really see the difference between that footage I shot on my phone and then the Mando footage I shot, which was my new phone, which was it was a lot better looking footage, obviously. But then also the criticism I received at during the Scene Arts conference was to have sort of a more like lively scripted feel, and not just because not just like a kind of a steady kind of vibe to it, not as much. So basically what I tried to do was just kind of pep it up just a little bit, the dialogue. And I thought, you know what, Mike can do like an excellent, I was like, you know, Mike could probably do like a really good kind of salesperson, sales pitch kind of like character type voice. I was like, hey, Mike, you need to put on that voice that you do when you get those spam calls, you know, because like he got one time wearing in there, and he answered the call and he was like, "Welcome, Morg. You kill him, we chill him. How can I help you?" And so I was like, "That's great. We can use that." So he did that, and I thought that worked really well. Today, actually, I just added some shadows to the scene, so I kind of merged the original image with a new one to kind of make the echo sound work a little bit better. And that, you know, it's a really good scene. I feel like there's good energy. The dialogue's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Remember what I'm talking about. And yeah, so that's a wrap on that. So next up, The Hobbit. That was a really hard scene to do, and not because of the filming. That was pretty easy. It was the editing. Trying to figure out how to track myself onto that scene was really annoying, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was pretty annoying. The easy part was filming. I looked at the frame, and I see, okay, I look at the frame, and I'm thinking, okay, over here in the corner, you got like a big hot spot of light, and then there's a fireplace to the side, and there's candles all around the room. So I'm thinking, okay, I turn on the Panera Bread lights in here. I call them the Panera Bread lights. And I put a light on the floor down there, and I put another one here, kind of facing up, simulating the fireplace and the hot spot and the candles around the room.
Yeah.
So done. You know, that's low, because for me, I'm a lot taller than a dwarf. Obviously, I think like 4 for 5-ish maybe.
Yeah.
And when I wear sneakers, I'm 6 foot, 6'1", arguably. So that was cool. Just to make that look, you know, color grade that a little bit more, and that's a successful scene.
Yeah.
So my transition from scene to scene with the car, I used the same car, you know, just found some clips from the movie, from Back to the Future, and like, okay, you know, it's ramping up, and then boom, it's gone.
It's gone.
So I can dip to white that, to like a wormhole, and then at the very end, I noticed on the clip that I found, everything gets brighter and then whiter. So I'll do another blip to white and then have it fade to black, and then that can fade into the next scene. So next up was the meme where Obi-Wan gets hit in the face.
Oh man, yeah.
So here is the original. Here's the original clip. And so obviously you can see there's an improvement there. I don't have a delayed reaction when I get hit with the can. Who would? And it's higher res, and also you know what Coca-Cola is. I don't think anyone really knows what that brand of. I think it was tea that were those cans. I think it was tea.
Yeah, tea. Yeah.
There was some yellow can. I don't know what it was. I figured it'd be better if it was something more recognizable. I'm thinking, hey, Sarah sells Coke cans. I'll get one of those. Oh, Dom has one there. Dom has an empty one there.
Yeah.
Can I use your Coke can? Mike, do you want to hit me with that? Cool. All right. Come in here and a little behind the scenes footage here.
Recorded.
Left foot, right foot. No, you're not in the right position. Look at the tape. There you go.
So that's kind of just generally what that would look like without anything at all.
Yeah.
So I had to keyframe the lightsaber in After Effects. I used Andrew Kramer's Saber plugin from Video Copilot.net. And actually, I was referred to that website to find that watching the Corridor Crew video about making Star Wars rated R, and they're the sort of the head guy, the boss dude there in the studio.
Yeah.
He was adding additional lasers to one of the Star Wars scenes where Ki-Adi-Mundi gets shot up by the stormtroopers. He has like an extra heart above his brain.
Yeah, I seen that one.
And he was like, the reason why I matched my blaster bolt so perfectly was because I used the actual thing I used Andrew Kramer's Saber plugin.
Oh damn.
And I matched my blaster bolts perfectly to the movie.
Oh man.
He literally said like the reason why they look so perfect or like so realistic. But anyway, so I used that, and I drew out a couple features just to make it cool. So did some covering up of Kenobi so I could put myself in there, then stitch those together to be a broad clip.
Yeah.
And then did my keyframing, added the sound effects. I found a clip from YouTube, and there you go. You have a successful meme.
Yeah, sure.
So Live Aid.
Live Aid.
We got a crane over here. Here's a picture of the crane.
Yeah. Oh.
So what I did with that, initially I was looking at the shot of the camera like way up, kind of panning over the band. I'm like, okay, there's a lot of open space and not a lot of movement there, so I can probably put myself in there no problem. It shouldn't be an issue. It was a little bit more of an issue than I thought it would be, but it's okay. It worked out now. The keyframing did pretty well. I wasn't able to figure out how I could track it, so I had to keyframe it. It took
forever.
Took a really long time to do that.
Yeah.
So we stuck the camera up on the head of like the very top of that crane there. Fun fact, I think it's a fact. I was told this. I would say I'm 95% sure of this because I was told. My brother helped put that Crane together when he was in the shop. And so it's kind of cool to get to use a piece of equipment that my brother helped put together for the shot. And then also just have myself perform on stage with Queen at Live Aid.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, man.
Live Aid was meant to help out with like a big, it was either a famine or a drought going on in Africa. And so there were a lot of different artists there to perform, and people would donate, and then they would, send resources over there. So Queen was there, obviously. I was like, that'd be really cool to have myself there with them, because Queen's my favorite band. And so I'm like, that'd be the best thing ever. I had an interesting introduction to Queen. So my cousin Connor showed me an episode of the Nostalgia Critic, who I've previously mentioned in a much earlier, lower quality project. It was a very memey project that I made as my sort of personal intro in sophomore year. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to just review films. I'm like, yeah, probably, but not as much as I was thinking back then. And so I found a parody video that he made of The Show Must Go On. And so I'm looking at Show Must Go On. I'm thinking, wait, who is this? Queen? Is that a stage name for some guy? I do some more digging, and then fast forward 2 years later, here I am. So it was pretty neat to be able to do that. For the next shot where the camera kind of moves off of Freddy, I'm standing here, and we got the crane. So I had Tyler move the crane over here to kind of go with where Freddy would be, and then just to help it out a little bit more, then I keyframed it a bit, and then that came out looking really, really good. So thanks for that. So next scene, I was sitting behind Mando Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett show. Try to think how on paper that makes sense. I'm sitting behind him, sort of thinking like, well, you could just be in the scene. That's very true, but the thing is, he's not just in the scene. The entire episode was dedicated to him. It's not really that big of an issue. It's just kind of funny. So I figured, you know what? I can make that into sort of a joke. I can say, hey, this isn't your show, is it? I'm sitting behind him. And I'm like, excuse me. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but isn't this Boba Fett show? Not the Mandalorian show? I mean, I could be wrong, but so I'm just in a chair here, and then I key myself in front of onto that, obviously, and then I grabbed a screenshot of Mando sitting in his chair, cut out a part of the chair, and then put that over top of myself. And then did some kind of like blending, some like edge feathering, a little bit of that, and some adjustment layers to kind of crop that off. And so the last thing to do after everything was kind of smoothed over was just to color grade it. So I used the tint effect to adjust the whites and blacks so that all the colors of my video were the same as there, and then kind of turned up the green and blue a little bit. Turned up the saturation to balance out the tint, because that desaturates it. So I resaturate it to keep everything level. And then there you go. I'm sitting behind Din Djarin in I almost just said the Mandalorian show. Book of Boba Fett show. That's a wrap for that. The commercial here at the end, I just grabbed the Transformers intro outro commercial break piece from the project I mentioned earlier, the low grade sophomore thing. Some people would say I'm being harsh on myself. I just think that I have improved over 2 years. The Transformers will return after these messages. And so, just cut to the Dr. Squatch commercial. I just kind of came up with something. I was like, this would be funny. I was like, what if to end the project, a lot of times I run into deadlines pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it's tough to get things done. I was like, what if I have Mr. Hurst literally cut off the project? So he says, the soap you shower with is garbage. Except he doesn't use the word garbage. So that's censored, and then Mr. Hurst hears that, like, yo, you're done, see ya. Puts his hand over the lens. And I'm thinking, well, you cast a shadow over the lens when you put your hand over it. So I'm like, okay, just to make it really cut to black when he does that, I'll just put a fade to black when the shadow is engulfing the lens. And then that's good, you really got the lens. You don't want to full on grab the lens because you don't want to get your hand on the lens. So I'll just fade to black. Then I think, am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything.
I think you covered everything about everything.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, you know what? Side note on Live Aid, it was really hard to not only find a video on how to make your current digital footage look like it comes from 1985, but it was also it took quite a while to implement it as well. So I'm very happy with how that turned out.
Yeah.
But the project as a whole, I think this came together great. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Bro,
On that?
all I have to say is, bro, just listening to you, bro, and listening to you, bro, you could show that this is your passion. So you're gonna put your all into it, my bad. You're gonna put your all into it, and it's bro, if you cause what you're doing now, bro, there's a lot of people in the industry that they can't do that. Stuff you're doing now, bro, people can't do it. Grown people times 2, times 3 our age don't even know how to do that, and they're trying to figure out. But you right here, you already have an understanding of what you're doing. So I feel like that's cool, bro. And bro, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Cause bro.
Thanks.
Yeah, bro. That's tough, bro. Cause So that's all I gotta say for it, bro. Yeah.
All right, so that's a sign off.
Sign off. We out of here.